let's deal with the truth here. This is one of the negatives about being a woman. As you guys know, I give credit where it's due. I'm very objective. One of the things that sucks about being a female is that you're never going to be taken seriously, and you do have to work harder to a degree to get the same respect and accolades as a man, because you're always looked at through a purview first, brain second. But what these women don't understand is you make it easy for men to objectify you when you do like this. So check this out, guys. So there's this girl. This is an actual paleontologist with a PhD, yet she continues to post thirst traps regardless of her education. Let's go ahead and watch the clip. I'm going to play it in full with no interruption. Then we'll kind of react to it and break it down.
What's your favorite dinosaur? If you said Carnotaurus, then you're in the right place, because I'm Dino Mommy, a real-life paleontologist with a PhD, here to tell you all about it. Carnotaurus was a carnivorous theropod dinosaur that lived in the late Cretaceous of what is now South America. But you probably know this dinosaur for one thing: its horns. Carnotaurus is one of the only carnivorous or meat-eating dinosaurs with horns. Each bony horn is about 6 inches long and would have probably supported even bigger and more deadly horns like those of a rhino. And us paleontologists think that Carnotaurus probably would have used these horns to fight for mate. This guy had some deadly riz. We've recovered a lot of Carnotaurus skin, and it mostly is scaly like the skin of a lizard. Now that doesn't mean that it didn't have any feathers, but it probably just had less than dinosaurs like T-Rex or Velociraptor. Now, the craziest thing about Carnotaurus was its arms. Its arms were super tiny and even smaller than those of T-Rex. They literally are tiny nubs on the body of this thing. These arms were likely completely useless to an adult Carnotaurus. But don't let little arms fool you, because this was still one of the deadliest carnivorous dinosaurs that ever existed. It had a bite force that was twice that of an American alligator, and it was one of the fastest carnivorous dinosaurs and could run at speeds of up to 35 miles per hour. Even though they were smaller than T-Rex, these guys could even take on titanosaurs, the biggest animals to ever walk the earth. Like and follow for more.
So let's read this tweet real quick, right? Martyr women proving that yet again, as usual, that their sexuality is their only agency. But women get mad at men for objectifying them when they objectify themselves. Let's talk about this real quick, right? Because the issue here, you can see here that this woman is mid, right? Filled with tattoos. Not the most attractive, right? This is like a chick that you smash on a Saturday night or some shit like that if you ran into her at a bar after a beer or two. Let me go ahead, play this real quick.
Your favorite dinosaur? If you said Carnotaurus.
And you guys can see here, she needs to hit the gym. Obviously, her midsection is a bit bulgy. She's wearing these super short shorts, no bra, tatted up, etc. And there's so many problems here, okay? There's so many problems here. Let's first deal with, the first one, which is, no one tells women the truth ever about their weight, their size, they need to lose weight. Like, if you're going to go ahead and do a video like this and try to be a provocateur and sexualize yourself, at least be in good shape, okay? You can see she got like the muffin top a little bit with the jorts, super short shorts, no tan. Like, come on, dude. That's the first L. Second L, being dressed like a whore in the first place, right?
Then you're in the right place, because I'm Dino Mommy, a real-life paleontologist with a PhD, here to tell you all about it.
Fringe, right? With the nose ring and everything else like that.
Carnotaurus was
with the tattoos. And this is why I tell y'all all the time, bro. A lot of these women that get these educations, this girl's a 304. I think you guys are pretty confident. You see all the red flags. Tatted up, PhD, nose ring, dressed provocatively, doing videos on the internet, right? Looking for clout. Like, this girl is a huge, all types of red flags that you should never, ever take a girl like this seriously, right? I think that's pretty self-evident at this point.
Bruh.
But let's deal with another problem here, right? Women like this are the same women that demand respect. These are the women that demand to be treated as equals. These are the women that demand egalitarianism. These are the women that say that men like us, or men in general, marginalize them or objectify them. But they keep falling for it every single time. And what is that? That they objectify themselves. They just make my job easy, because all they do is prove the stereotypes that women, a lot of the times, prefer attention and validation over respect. And that's the biggest fucking problem here. Okay? That's the real elephant in the room. The real elephant in the room is that women manufacture the very objectification that they complain about. Because what they do is they hope that if they lead with their sexuality and their intelligence and or their accolades second, that they will be respected for their intelligence and their accolades. But here's the problem. Men are visual creatures. Since men are visual creatures, we see what we see, And everything after that kind of becomes, ugh. And I admit this because, as you guys know, I never shy away from calling men retards, okay? Never. Especially if it's two idiots up in Canada, that one that links Windows and the other one that's a fucking sodomite. But I digress. The point being here that I'm trying to make is that women will go ahead and pursue a degree, get an education, learn something, right? Because this is an interesting topic, actually, right? Dinosaurs and paleontology, also the interesting topic. But what does she do? Shoots herself in the fucking foot and sexualizes herself. So now everything that she has to say isn't going to be taken with the same level of respect, unfortunately. And let's deal with the truth here. This is one of the negatives about being a woman, right? As you guys know, I give credit where it's due. I'm very objective. One of the things that sucks about being a female is that you're never going to be taken seriously, and you do have to work harder to a degree to get the same respect and accolades as a man, because you're always looked at through a sexual purview first, brain second. But what these dumbass women don't understand is you make it easy for men to objectify you when you do shit like this. No one gives a fuck about your PhD. No one gives a fuck about your knowledge. No one gives a fuck about how many hours and blood, sweat, and tears that you put in to learn this information. All they see are a tatted up thought with short jorts with a nose ring thinking about ways to have sex with you on a kitchen counter somewhere. That's the reality. You objectify yourself, and in return, society objectifies you back. Because women, unfortunately, whether they want to accept it or not, are not looked at as success objects. They're looked at sex objects, okay? We are the success objects, they are the sex objects. And when they sexualize themselves, all they do is confirm the reality as to how a lot of men view women in the first place, which is you are a sex object. And everything else that you do behind that is marginalized, and no one gives a fuck about it. Now, let's be honest here. She's gonna make some money from this. She's gonna get some clout off of this. She's gonna get some, attention, validation, whatever it may be. But it's gonna come at the cost of people not respecting her actual real education, her accolades, her background, etc. It's going to be looked at as like, okay, you might have a PhD, but you're a whore. Okay, you might understand this topic, but you're a 304. Okay, you might do this, but we're not going to take you seriously. And that's kind of the double-edged sword that women need to navigate, right? Especially when they have a skill set that isn't tied to their sexuality. But women like this just throw it out. They just say, fuck it, I don't care. And for them, fame, clout, and validation override respect. And this is one of the fundamental differences between men and women. As a man, you can't navigate through the world unless you have respect. As a woman, you can't navigate through the world without getting any respect, because men are always going to objectify you, and you can actually make quite a bit of living without men respecting you, quite frankly. And it's sad that so many women prefer the latter of being objectified, not being respected, being looked at as a sexual object for money. And that's where we are now. Modern women are okay with selling out, making money, showing their tits, putting their accolades and education to the fucking back burner, and enriching themselves to the highest degree possible. But what they don't realize is this is gonna come at a cost. It might not come at a cost now, but it's absolutely gonna come at a cost later on in life.